Hey, everybody. I hope you all are doing great today. This is a live video, and I don't think I've ever gone live on here and just flowed with it. When I go live, ordinarily it's to just record a video, and then if I don't like it, I'll stop, I'll delete, and throw it out, get rid of it, whatever, and start again. And that is not what I'm doing today. Today, I am live, where if you subscribe or if you just happen to see this video, you can come in and say, hey. So, hey, if you are not familiar with my channel, my name is Tia, and I talk about a lot of things. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, normally at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll put up a video. Mondays and Wednesdays can be about anything. Fragrance usually factors in there somewhere. But on Fridays, I always talk about fibromyalgia. So today is Wednesday, so it's not a fibromyalgia chat, but it's not a fragrance chat either. I just wanted to catch up, say hey. I hit 500 subscribers. Thank you all who have subscribed. I love you all. I appreciate it. And I hope to continue bringing you content that you enjoy. I know that most of that whole set of subscribers are my fragrance people, and there are more fragrance reviews coming. I have a couple more to film, but I also have a few more locked and loaded and ready to go. I just have to like put links basically and get all of that together, but they'll be going up next week, starting on Monday for sure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But 500 subscribers, I didn't think I would have them as soon as I did because I knew what I talked about was fairly niche. So, or niche, depending on who you ask. It's fairly a small subset of people. So, yeah, thank you. That's what I've got to say about that. And I did promise that if I got to 500 subscribers, I would put out some really cool video clips of some things I've been doing behind the scenes. And that is accurate. I'm still going to do that. I just have to edit them a little bit because, they got hit with copyright stuff. There's music in the background. I have to see how I can overlay some other sound or, really tone down the other sounds that are in the video. Whatever it takes, I'm going to have to figure that out and go from there. So, I want to make sure that I do that and give you all some good footage. But if you want a little teaser on what it is going to be some of the aerial performances from my daughter's studio that she attends. And if you're thinking, okay, it's your daughter, it's probably a kid. Yes, she's a kid. And all of the individuals in this particular show are technically children under the age of 18. However, they are professional level good. The ones that do the stunts or whatever, they are well on their way to being Cirque du Soleil performers. They are that good. So I think you'll enjoy those clips. I'll be putting those up, but I have some other stuff, some other clips behind the scenes that I will be happy to share in the next few weeks, especially since you got me to 500 subscribers. Even if you didn't, I would have given it to you, honestly, because it's a part of my life and I like sharing that. So I have some things I wanted to talk about today as I am live and chit-chatting with you all. First and foremost, you see there's bookshelves behind me. I am in my office, and what I have to do is reorder my bookshelves. They look a mess right now, and they are a bit of a mess. And that's because I started out organizing them by topic, and I didn't finish that. So they do not have the organization that I want, which means that I'm not maintaining them the way that I should. So we've got some finance books, we've got some self-help, we've got some beauty, we got some fashion, we got some what else? Uh etiquette and manners. It's a little, and literature, of course. It's all mixed in. So I have some work to do to kind of group those things together just so that they make more sense to me. Um, And so that's what I'm doing with the bookcase. You didn't come to hear about my bookcase, I know, but I wanted to share that with you. I did want to tell you too, I'm working on a new book. I'm figuring out the direction I want to take with it. First and foremost, I'm working on a new book. Who's surprised, right? I'm always working on a book. But this is a newer idea, and it is involving AI images that I love. I don't know if I told you all that. If you heard a sound, that was my ink pen. I had the end on my desk and it slid. Um, I love AI. I've been playing around with it since I first heard about it. For those that don't know, when I originally planned to go to college, my intended major was computer science. I ended up not going for computer science because I ended up not being able to go to that particular university that accepted me. I didn't have the money. But I never stopped loving computer sciencey things. I'm good at coding, even though it's not my love. I'm pretty good at it. I'm adept if I am focused. And so when this new surge of AI tools came out, I hopped right on it, started playing around with them, and love it. And so I'm really keen on figuring out what all these tools can do. And I have already figured out I want to make some things. And first thing, of course, was AI images. That's the first thing I hopped on. Not Mid Journey. I'm not on Mid Journey, surprisingly, because when I first heard about it and I saw those cute um, profile pictures that people were making, I was like, oh man. But then when I saw that they cost, I was like, no, I'm not that into it. And then there were so many great alternatives that came out afterward. I was like, great. So now I am playing around with a bunch of different AI generation tools, and I love it, having a great time with it, and figuring out ways to make really impactful things with it, which leads to the heart of this conversation. It only took me 7 minutes, you guys. Um, I really want to dive deeper into my personal or my life purpose, my legacy, my why I'm here. I have ideas for what it is, and I don't think it's one thing. I do think it's a combination of things. But I've been having, mm, I don't want to say trouble, but I've been having some difficulty around this subject because I really want to know what path I should be taking. And part of my dilemma is that I have taken many brief journeys, which have all, with the exception of maybe one or two, panned out pretty well. Um, I don't have any journeys that I truly regret from beginning to end. But all of those little jaunts here and there along the path of my life, I want to know, what am I supposed to be doing? And part of that, you know what you're supposed to be doing when you look back to what life was like before things got tough. For some people, unfortunately, life has always been tough. But for the average person in an averagely good home, an averagely good environment, this is childhood, right? Your childhood is the place where you dreamed the biggest. You dreamed the things that spoke to who you were then, and then life clouded it as you got older. I just want to know what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I go back to that time in childhood where things were good and I didn't have any responsibilities other than to eat and breathe and sleep and go to school, um, when I go back to that time, it was writing. Writing was my love. I loved writing. I loved creating stories. I loved putting things into the written word. And the reason why, and since this isn't requiring any memory on my phone, I can just talk as opposed to keeping things brief for recording purposes. This is live. We can do this. Um, I liked putting my thoughts into the written format because I wasn't heard. I do not feel that there was a space for my voice ever, which is not uncommon with many children. You know, many children don't feel heard. That's not unusual, but that is a thought that has carried over into adulthood, and it is a trigger. It is a huge trigger. To not be heard is my biggest, it's not my biggest, I don't fear not being heard. I dislike greatly not being heard. As a person who's not been heard, I take great care to hear others, to hear them loud and clear. And that has made me invaluable to many, but that has not made me heard. And so I've always preferred to write my words. It's also why I do YouTube. Um, it gives me a chance to practice my voice, my verbal voice, because while I love to write, the truth is most people don't want to read. They just don't. Most people don't want to read words. They have to hear things verbally. And that is challenging when you're a person who's had a pattern of not being heard because those people's ears are not attuned to what you are saying. I studied communication in college. Like I was interested in computer science, like I said. When I did finally go to school and I finally finished my degree, I had a degree in professional communication. That was my bachelor's of science in it. And that was what I went to school for because I felt so unheard. And so here we are, years later, it's still something I struggle with. And I go back to my purpose. What is my purpose? To be heard. That is some of it. That is what I'm here for, to find my voice. Some people have no problem being heard. Unfortunately, most people that have no problem being heard have very little of substance to say, unfortunately, for those, for us who have to listen to them. Um, it does not help that I'm a bit introverted too, which means in the midst of not being heard to the level that I would find acceptable personally, in addition to not being heard, I also have no problem completely withdrawing to restore myself, which means I'm not forcing my voice on people either. A lot of people find this out the hard way, which they meet me, they tend to be a bit of a bulldozer, and then I don't say anything. Then when things fall apart after they've bulldozed over things that they should have paid attention to, then I have to be the "I told you so" person. Though I don't say it that way. I'm always like, "Yeah, you know, I didn't know you didn't see that." Of course, I knew they didn't see that. They were too busy talking to see you because you have to quiet yourself in order to see certain things or to notice certain things. So it's been an interesting life for that reason. But on top of not being heard, I also find that my purpose, you know, whenever you have a purpose, you have to look at not just what lit you up when you were younger and what you found invaluable at one point in time to your existence, you know, whatever that is, the things that you just really loved, but you also have to look at the things that really trigger you. And for me, of course, not being heard was a trigger. Writing was a love. But there are other things, other little things. Um, I think we're here to heal those triggers. And that's why I will always write. I'm always working on the trigger of not being heard and making sure that I nurse that and help evolve it into something else so that it is not something that I close my eyes when that day comes. It's not something that I'm still hanging on to saying I just never was heard. I know I don't want that. I want to see growth. I want to see change. I want to see progress in that area. So I'm looking at a bunch of my triggers. I'm looking at a bunch of my insecurities. I'm learning them. That's uncomfortable. It's the deep work that nobody likes to do. I know I don't like doing it. I'd much rather do something fun or do something interesting or do something that gives relief. Digging into your triggers does not give relief, it makes you uncomfortable. And while I don't want to be uncomfortable, I also don't want to, how can I put this? Yeah, I don't want to be uncomfortable, but I don't want to stay stuck either. I don't want stagnancy. That's not going to work for me long term or short term. So, digging into my life's purpose. If you've figured out your life's purpose, I would love to hear about it in the comments, of course. If you're live, I would love for you, of course, to come and talk in the comments or in the chat panel too. But yeah, being heard is something I've always struggled with. And it's something that's not as much of an issue now, but it's still a trigger. There are other triggers that I'm sure factor into my life's purpose somehow. But it's a hard road, guys. It's challenging. I don't like it. I'd much rather just nap and eat fresh fruit and pretend that none of this matters, but it does matter. It shows up in my day-to-day life, which means it's something that I have to tend to at some point, right? So yeah, part of this book with the AI images is feeding into the life purpose because clearly writing is a big part of my purpose, but also connecting with the past and evolving thought around certain aspects of life, revolving the thoughts around, or not revolving, evolving the thoughts around what it means to be human, what it means to be a person who is thriving, what it means to live well. Just exploring those conversations, exploring what it takes to unfold this very, very deep, exhausting work sometimes. And I am tired this week. Part of it is, of course, my daughter's studio stuff and participating with all of that stuff, but also the work of thinking through this. I was listening to a video recently from Dan Coe, and I'll try to find that and link it into the description box after I finish talking and after this stream is finished. But that video explored how to deal with, or how to learn, how to be successful in learning and implementing what you learn. How you have to fill yourself up, you have to apply, you have to empty. Those are the things that you have to do with your mind in order to grow and to accomplish what you want. And for me, I'm learning how to fill my mind without um, exhausting it, how to empty it without feeling depleted afterward, and how to implement it without feeling stretched thin. Because I'm falling in all three areas of this triangle that Dan proposed. Um, it's okay though. You know, this is life, and this is what we do. We figure these things out for ourselves. I've heard some really disheartening things as of late about people, broadly speaking, not being, uh, how do I say this delicately? Maybe I shouldn't say it delicately. People being very happy to stay stagnant or to stay undeveloped. They don't care about being interesting. They just want, or having interest in their lives. They just are existing, and it has nothing to do with survival mode. It has everything to do with intellectual and, no, I don't want to say that. Intellectual laziness is what I'm thinking. They don't want to develop their minds. I don't want to be that person ever. I love developing my mind. I love learning things. I love trying new things. And I want to keep that energy for as long as humanly possible. So I figure if I keep on the path of exposing myself to interesting things, I'll eventually have my life's purpose shown to me. Until then, I'll just work with what I know, you know, tease out the triggers and work through them as best I can and make progress on those, as well as exploring what used to light me up and leaning heavily into that. Now, it's already been 20 minutes. Let me show you what I plan on reading. Let's see, we've got April. I'm finishing up a book now. The book is Niching Up. Let me find the name of the author. Hold on, guys. Um, it is Niching Up by Chris Dreyer. Um, I'm about halfway done with it. So I'll be done before the end of the month. And it's good. If you have a business idea firm in mind that you know you want to explore, that's a good book. If you don't have a business idea in mind, it's still a good book to read to know what to do when you do have the idea. Okay. So that is what I'm reading for this month. Last month I read a book about, oh, hold on. Let me find it. Heroine of the Harlem Renaissance and Beyond, Gwendolyn Brooks Selected Writings. It was edited by Belinda Wheeler. And so I did that book last month, and that was great. You know, Black History Month. It was about a Black author. She was a poet, she was an editor, she was an artist, a visual artist. She was a true Renaissance woman. When it came to the Harlem Renaissance, she was the Renaissance, but hardly anyone knows about her. So, again, the name of the book is Heroine of the Harlem Renaissance and Beyond, Gwendolyn Bennett's Selected Writings. Next month, or April, I am really leaning heavily to reading this one, The Wild Edge of Sorrow, Rituals of Renewal, and the Sacred Work of Grief by Frances Weller. Uh, the reason why is while I'm not actively grieving anything, like I do have some grief that I'm working through, but not a ton. The reason why this is calling me is because I do suspect that some of the blocks I've experienced emotionally are related to unprocessed grief. And I was debating, oh, should I read that book next or not? And then I had a dream of a deceased relative. And when I woke up, I said, yeah, that might be the book to read. Sometimes the answers come to you literally while you're sleeping. So that is probably my April read. My read for April, if I get through that quickly, which this is actually, let me tell you, while I do like to do a book a month or two, if I'm being a little bit more disciplined, the truth about this book is that I don't think it's something that you read from cover to cover and say, oh, wow, that was good. I think you work through it. So there's a very good chance I will not be done by the end of April. There's a very good chance that I will read a chapter, maybe not even a chapter. How many chapters are in here? There are 9 chapters. Okay. There's a very good chance that I'll read a chapter and I'll need to sit with it. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through all of it at one. I think it's going to be just too emotionally exhausting. That's the best word I can come up with. I think it'll be just a bit heavy on the soul to try to go through all of it at once. And then on top of that, you know, if you're working through it and doing rituals of renewal, sacred work of grief, this shouldn't be done in 30 days, I don't believe. So that's probably going to start in April, but I doubt it'll be done in April, even if I were to just read it from cover to cover. The actual application is going to take longer. So if that is not it, I'll probably reread Outliers. It's been a while. This is The Story of Success. Outliers, The Story of Success by Malcolm Gladwell. This is a famous book. I read it before, loved it. One of my tutoring students read it or is reading it right now. So when she mentioned it, I told her I had it and it inspired me to reread it. She just mentioned that last night and I was like, oh man, I have that book. And she mentioned one of the examples that she liked was, of course, the 10,000 hour rule. And I mentioned that I liked a lot of it. So it'll be good to reread it remember the parts I like best and refresh my memory and figure out if I am doing some of the work or if any of the elements of success that are in this book are in my current story. Because when I read this, I was not in the story I'm in right now. So it'll be nice to see have where am I in my own success story? Where do I fit in this book? Which is not a how-to book. It's it's a series of essays, but it's a great book and totally worth rereading. I have all of Malcolm Gladwell's stuff, but do I have David and Goliath? I think that's the only one that, yeah, David and Goliath is the only one I don't have. I'll be adding that. But I have other, of course, a lot of books. I haven't read all of these. But oh, hey girl. One of my friends has come in. Jeanne Martin, I've never heard of this book. Yes, yes, Outliers. It is, oops, there's my receipt for it. I was using it as a bookmark, obviously. This is a great, great book. And so it does give you a bunch of examples of how success, as we think of it, is not a straight line. A success is usually a series of things you do and things that are done to you or things that are beyond your control that come together. It's fascinating. And you can, of course, get it used on Amazon probably for pennies at this point because it's an older book, but it's great. It mentioned the 10,000 hour rule, which many people have quoted since, how it takes about 10,000 hours of doing anything to get mastery. And it also mentions the story. It talks about Bill Gates and how part of Bill Gates' success was a matter of the time that he was born, him and, of course, Steve Jobs, how they were all born around the same time as far as the same set of years. So part of the tech success is being born at the right time for some people. And so it's a good, good book. Highly recommended. And it's something that you can pick up, read a chapter, put it down. It doesn't require you to read it from cover to cover to get really great stories. Each chapter is a story unto itself, which is really nice. So yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that is what's going on. It's been a whale of a week so far. It's been a whale of a month, actually. This has been an intense month. But I did want to just come on, chit chat for a bit, say hey. I'm glad some people popped in. Thank you for stopping in, of course. And I'll be back Friday. It won't be live, but I will do a live very soon because I want to do some I don't want to say workshops. That sounds so formal. But I've seen people who do create with me and journal with me. And I'm like, that's so much fun. I love stuff like that. So I'll try to do something like that in the future. I don't know. But it'll be my own spin on it because I hate the thought of just taking what somebody else did and putting my name on it. That's lazy. I will come up with my own thing and it'll be fun. Maybe it'll be an AI thing. I don't know. Oh, I'm glad it brightened your day. I don't know. This is my first live. So I know some people are able to pull it up and you can see the quotes on the screen. Not me. But I'm just chit-chatting because I didn't want to do a regular video today. I just wanted to come in because I'm at 500 subscribers, which is exciting. So yes. But yeah, that's all. My dog is in here and I will probably take him out. He's not too jittery, but I don't want him to get there. I'll take him out. I'll be back for sure with another live. I'll figure out how to make a live show up. I don't know. Like I can see where other people I've been on here too long not to know how to do this. Oh, thank you. Thank you, you Brown. But I've been on here too long. Oh, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 500 subscribers is a big deal to me for sure. A lot of people, oh, I got 100,000. I'm like, woohoo, 10. Truly happy. It doesn't, I'm not saying that sarcastically at all. I am very happy. And so, yes, it's going to be a calmer month upcoming, and I'm looking forward to that. And I do have to do I have to do some lives, some more lives, and figure out how some of this stuff works. In many ways, even though I like techie stuff, I'm still very much geriatric when it comes to some of these things. Like, oh, let me get on the Google and let me, do things on the YouTube. Like, it's terrible. But when I get it, I get it. And so, yeah, maybe I'll do an AI play along and we can talk about some AI tools. That could be fun, even though this is not an AI channel. Maybe I can figure out how to make it work for what I do over here, which is mainly fragrance and fibromyalgia. Maybe I can figure that out. That would be cool because certainly I have a lot of AI tools I've been playing with and having a great time. And I need to share those with more people because they're really good things that can make your life a lot easier. So, anyway, I've been talking for 30 minutes and it's been a fun, well, 31 minutes. It's been a fun 31 minutes for sure. And I'm glad some folks popped in, but I will talk to you all soon. I'll try to put up when I go live again. If I figure out, I think you just like schedule it and it shows up as, yeah, on this date, be ready, it'll happen. And if I can do it, if it's as simple as that, then that's what I'll do. And if not, I'll Google it. I'll get on the Google and figure it out. So, anyway, have a great one. Please take good care of yourselves. I hope your hump day is going well, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye bye. Ah, yes, I can schedule it. Okay, great. That's what I was thinking. Again, that's what I'll do. I will schedule it and then it'll pop up to whoever is subscribed or just happens to come across my stuff. And they'll see, oh, it's coming up. And then they'll know, oh, okay, I'll be live. And I'll figure out a theme for it so that everyone knows what I'm doing instead of just chit chat, right? Okay. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye.